and welcome to our Zoom webinar for the online Masters in Advanced Practice in Veterinary Nursing. Who we have today is the Academic Programme Director, Samantha Fontaine, and the Administrator, Emma Caddick, who will both be on hand to answer any questions and answer any of my questions as well that I've got for you. So Sam, if you wouldn't mind just giving us an overview of the programme, thanks.
Yep, let me just put a few slides together. So let me just share those. So, right, so I just thought I would provide a wee bit of a background to the programme just very briefly, just so that potential students and things can see what our goals for the programme were. And it was really to create a programme that encouraged our students to engage with evidence-based veterinary nursing and essentially to become quality improvement champions. So by that I mean to become individuals who had the skill set to be able to challenge what was being done in their practices, perhaps that when there were things that they thought could be done better or improved upon, and really to give them the skill set that they could then go back to their practices and come up with evidence-based solutions to their own practice problems. So the programme's really designed to allow students to apply their learning to their own roles and their own environments. So we have students in all different walks of life and all different practice environment types. We have educators, clinical nurses, those in industry. So we do have a whole range of veterinary nurses within the programme. And the programme was really designed with vet nurses in mind. So it was designed to be as flexible as possible to allow individuals to continue to work, to fund their studies, but also potentially to not have to take time off work to actually complete the studies from a remote location. So people fit it around their own work patterns, and we have nurses who are on night shifts, day shifts, all different time zones. So it's really been designed to allow all individuals to be able to participate. And the flexible aspect of it is you have up to 6 years to complete the full master's programme. So we're very mindful that many vet nurses are young women, potentially looking to start families or have families. So there is this ability to put your studies on hold for a period of time, be it 1 semester or 1 year or more if you want to, as long as you complete the programme in the 6 years. So it has been designed with all of that in mind. And we try and minimise the amount of live action content. A lot of it is you kind of watching pre-recorded lectures and things like that. There are some group activities where you would work together and there are some live sessions, but we do try and keep those to a minimum. So just in case you're not 100% sure of how the programme is structured, it's for the full master's programme, it is over 3 years. So in year 1, you would do the postgraduate certificate, which is research and evidence-based veterinary nursing, developing evidence-based practice through reflection, and clinical governance in veterinary nursing. And these are this year has just this year been accredited by the Royal College. So if you complete this course, you're able to, well, in advance of starting the course, you would enrol with the Royal College under their Cert AVN Certificate in Advanced Veterinary Nursing qualification. The Cert is only open currently to UK registered veterinary nurses, so you would have to be on the RCVS register to be able to have this additional qualification. However, doesn't stop, you know, the programme runs as it is, and for the rest of the students that aren't eligible, they will still ultimately get their PG Cert, post-nominal, PG Dip, or their full masters if that's what they go on to do. In year 2 is when we bring in a bit of options into the year, so thinking about different career paths that vet nurses might want to take. If they're more in the practice management side of things, we've created an Introduction to Vet Business Studies course. And if they're more thinking either in education or thinking of going down that line of becoming an educator themselves, we have the Teaching and Assessment and Vet Nursing option. We have other 2 core courses, are Research Design and Dissemination, and that course is very much to prime you for your final year project, so it looks more in depth with the research. And we also have an Animal and Veterinary Ethics course, just to get your brain cells thinking about different challenging situations that you might come across in your career. And then the final year is a full year of an independent project to create a dissertation and poster. So who would you be joining if you came onto this programme? Well, as the VM profession is largely female, currently we only have female students on our books, so it'd be great to have some men on board. You know, they're slightly, well, not middle-aged women, that's 30, on average between 20 and 52, so they're individuals ranging through all kind of aspects of career, so from early career individuals to those that have been within the profession for quite a long time. And we do have a range of nationalities at present, so obviously largely from the UK, over 50% from the UK, but we have Irish students, some from Europe, South Africa, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So it very much is an international programme, and you do get to hear the stories of vet nurses from around the world, which is, I think, a great aspect of the programme. I think one of the main concerns about people, especially when they're doing online learning, is what sort of support are they going to get from the staff. And you know, we are here for you throughout your whole journey. There's lots of different support mechanisms that we have in place at pre-induction with your welcome pack, with links to some of the services, at induction point with your orientation to the virtual learning environment, online welcome sessions with the programme staff where we can answer any of your questions that you have. That we have a student learning enhancement and development service who offer academic writing advice and support. We have a hub for the programme which has lots of different information on, you know, academic aspects, transitioning to university, how to use technology. And then after the induction period, every student will be given an academic advisor of studies, and that person is there to support you on your academic journey throughout the whole programme. There's obviously in-course support from course leaders, from the digital education team, from the programme directors, the administrator, and you get a lot of formative feedback opportunities in this programme. So for every assessment, we run what's called a formative assessment to allow you to essentially submit a draft of what you're going to do to get some feedback to hopefully improve your final submission. So we do try and support you in creating the best assessments that you can. Obviously you're joining University of Glasgow, and we've got a whole range of facilities available to you. So there are some online courses, non-credit bearing courses that are open to all students, such as the academic study skills, PGT, academic development resources, statistics, all these different things. We have the disability services, so if anybody had a disability, we would be encouraging them to contact disability services at the outset to discuss with them what their specific needs might be, and the disability services would then provide us with a report with some action points. And we'd work closely with any individuals with disabilities to ensure that what we're delivering meets their needs. There's the Safety, Health and Wellbeing Services, the Student Representative Council, and processes in place such as Good Cause, which will allow students to put in requests for longer extensions to assessments if life goes horribly wrong for them and they're not able to deliver their assessments on time. So we have lots of different measures in place to help support our students throughout their journey. Just very briefly, you know, we have got students on board and we do get feedback from them. And I think the main reasons that people tend to undertake this programme is that they're really looking for professional development, or they're looking for that next challenge in their professional journey. Many people opt to do a master's because they're looking for potential career change. So they're maybe looking to make a move from clinical practice into education or something like that. So this programme is very much geared for people with these sorts of thoughts in mind. There's many advantages to online learning. You know, there is flexibility in how you approach the programme, in the sense that you can take study breaks and things like that. However, we do expect you to carry through each course as it runs. So we would expect weekly engagement from you over the 10 weeks of each of the courses. Because you're not constrained by geographical location, you can study from anywhere in the world, and you can continue to work and balance your work and family commitments around your studies. And obviously that allows you to then keep working to fund your studies, which is great. We are aware that there are some disadvantages to online learning, such as workload. You know, you're trying to juggle studies around your already busy lifestyles, and time can be an issue, but you know, we work with you to try and help support you in that. And we can, you know, if you find time is becoming a challenge, you know, we would work with you to see what we can do to help you out with that. And also isolation is one of the issues, because you're all sitting in your homes doing this, you're not in a classroom. For that reason, we have built in collaborative activities throughout the programme to try and get you all getting to know each other, working with each other. And the feedback certainly from this current year was that they've really enjoyed these collaborative interactions, and they actually do feel like they get to know their classmates. So, you know, we do try and help you with that isolation aspect as well. So that's really all I wanted to say about the programme. If you do get to point of graduation of your masters, these would be the cloisters where you would graduate from, and we'd love to see you all over in Scotland for graduation in 3 years' time. So over to questions from Michelle.
Thanks, Sam. There are a few attendees at the moment, so I'm wondering if anyone has any questions they'd like to type in through the Q&A box at the bottom. I don't see any questions, so no, okay. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and ask you some pre-prepared questions that have come in anyway. Okay. Okay. So the first one then would be, when and how will we begin to have access to Moodle?
Do you want me to take that one, Sam? So you can't have access to Moodle until you have registered for the programme. So registration opens on the 12th of August this year, I believe. So you'll be prompted, first of all, to enter your personal details, which is known as academic registration. Once you've done that, you'll then enrol on the courses you're going to be studying this year, and that will generate your fee, and then you will set up how you're going to pay. Either you're going to pay now, or you maybe got sponsorship and you would indicate that there, or you'd set up a payment plan with the university. And once that is done, you're considered fully registered with the university. At that point, you can have access to all of the university's systems, including Moodle. You might not be able to access the first course straight away, simply because we tend to release things on a set basis, but you will almost certainly be able to access the hub. But also, very importantly, you'll be able to access the induction page, which will allow you to get a handle on how Moodle works, to play around with it, to meet other students on other online distance learning programs, and to ask questions of the digital education team about how to work with Moodle, how to navigate it, and if you come across anything that you're not sure about. So we really encourage you to engage with that induction, and you'll automatically join it, just as it's a great chance to really try things out before you're on the course proper. But certainly, once registration is complete, we'll be helping you get involved in these processes.
Thanks, Emma. Is it a benefit for US students to join RCVS?
I think I would be asking what they would be looking to do with the RVN status from the Royal College. So if you thought that you were going to come to the UK to work, then absolutely you would have to join the register with the Royal College. It's not a straightforward process. There's financial implications. You have to sit examinations to be able to evidence competency. So I think it's really about what you think you're going to get from that additional registration. I think from the perspective of if you were wanting to do it to be able to claim the Cert AVN component, what I would be saying is you wouldn't be starting our programme this September if that was your goal, because it would probably take you the next year, or a good chunk of time to be able to get registered with the Royal College. So if that was your goal, that you wanted to get this additional Cert AVN, then I would be advising you to contact the Royal College ASAP to find out what sort of timelines, and it would maybe be that you would have to defer this course to get your registration. So I think, if anybody was thinking about that, I'd be more than happy to speak to individuals about it and to find out why they were thinking that and what they were hoping to get from that. What I would say is the Cert AVN is just an additional post-nominal. It doesn't change what we deliver within the programme. It just is an additional, I suppose, an added extra for UK registered or RCVS registered veterinary nurses. They still, every student gets the same taught content, and ultimately you can all say that you've got a PG Cert, or you've got, if you move on to do your full masters, that you can all say you've got a master's. So I think don't get too concerned that, you know, some might get the Cert AVN and some don't. It doesn't really change the knowledge that you're getting and the skill set that you're getting. It's just an additional little bit of paper that some students will get from their registering body. We have questioned the Royal College, and ultimately at some point I think they're hoping to make it an international qualification that any, you know, vet tech, vet nurse can potentially register with the Royal College to do this specific qualification. They're just in their very early consultation about that, so that could be 1 year, it could be 3 years down the line that they do that. They might never do it. So I wouldn't be encouraging people to put their studies on hold for that potential eventuality. I think, you know, you're going to join a great program and you're going to get the same knowledge set as everyone else, and I think, yeah, don't get too worried about the Cert AVN if that's why this question is coming about joining the Royal College.
Okay, thanks, how much group work is required, or online group work?
We have different courses do different things, and within the first year there's multiple approaches that we take. So on the whole, the group work, so we have all of the courses will have online discussion boards, and that's really the mainstay of how we get you guys interacting with each other, having conversations about different topics. So there's usually a weekly question set or a couple of questions set by the course leader for you guys all to discuss. In some of the courses, those discussions, these reflective discussions, form part of the assessment, so you are graded on the quality of your comments and things. In other courses they're not. Excuse me. We have different types of collaborative activities, so often you might be set to investigate a topic, and we use sometimes a tool called Padlet, which is essentially an online bulletin board where you would piece all your information together as your group. One of our courses this year, we ran a really successful formative significant event audit using Microsoft Teams, and then the students were put into groups and they worked through their own for an assessment in their own groups using Teams as well, and they created a PowerPoint presentation as a group. So we do different things. Each course does try and do some sort of interactive element to get the students engaging and participating, because I think you get most out of the course content if you're discussing it with your peers. In some instances it's assessed, in some instances it's not. So, and you would know from the outset of each course whether it was part of your assessment or not.
Is there support available for disabilities like hard of hearing while studying online, or difficulty with sight, dyslexia and things like that? What's available?
Yep. So basically we would be encouraging anyone that had, you know, vision impairment, difficulties with hearing, any registered disabilities, to be contacting the disability services within the university. And what happens is they'll have a meeting with you to discuss your individual needs and requirements, and then they would send us a report which outlines what we need to provide for you as you know, as the delivery team. Certainly, if you let us know, we also will be looking to have our own team-based conversations with you, with probably our digital educationists, to check that everything we're providing is accessible to you. The course is set up, the program's set up anyway, that we have, we deliver content, lecture content, using video, so an audio, video, visual version, and MP4 just of the audio, excuse me, and there's transcripts, for written transcripts for the lectures as well, excuse me. So we already do try and ensure that there's accessibility of the content, but you know, we're aware we would be running potentially Zoom sessions, live group sessions, and there may be individual needs or requirements around that, so we would work with the individual students to find out how we can best support them.
So how many hours per week are estimated for the course for an individual to be involved in?
Yeah, so essentially a 20 credit course, as each of these are, equates to essentially 200 notional hours for a student to spend to complete all the content, work towards their assessments and things for do all their reading for each 20 credit course. So if you break that down over the 10 weeks of each course, that's about 20 hours per week. Now, we did question our first year, the first cohort that went through, about how much time they were spending, and it really did vary from, you know, 10 hours some weeks to 20 plus hours other weeks. So I think I always say to the students, make sure you have 20 hours a week to put towards this. So, you know, you really have to be approaching this thinking, I will be spending, you know, if you work Monday to Friday, I will be spending my weekends doing this, or I might be having to do something every evening when I get in to keep on top of it. But there's no getting around that. It is a master's level course. You know, there is a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work for the course content, for the assessments, and we do expect you to do quite a bit of reading around the subjects that we're teaching. So yeah, you have to come into this expecting that you will be spending 20 hours a week on average. If you don't need to spend that much, great. Others might have to spend a bit more depending on what their academic level is. So
with regards to reading then, are there any books or anything that you can advise to purchase, or anything that they should be getting access to read throughout the course or even before the course?
Not really. So each course has a very comprehensive reading list, and we do work very hard to ensure all of the resources, the reading resources, are available in a digital format. So most of the courses are set up that there will be a weekly set of reading items to work through that are related to that week's topics, and the reading lists work that you just kind of click into it and click on the item and it will take you to the library and you'll be able to access the digital version of it there. When we do use books, textbooks and things, again, our university is great. It's got a massive set of digital resources. So we try and always stick to textbooks that have an ebook version so that all the students can just access the ebook. Some of our students do go on to buy textbooks that have found to be really useful, but we don't say from the outset that these are the books that you have to buy, because you know our library has so many now that are digital, so there's really not the need anymore.
Assessments then, are they done throughout the year or just at the end of each year?
So each course will have its own set of assessments. There's generally 2 to 3 different assessments per course. Generally they will be delivered throughout the course, so you know by midpoint or just after midpoint you may be expected to submit your first assignment, and then maybe at the end of the course your second assignment. It just depends. Some of the assessments are all handed in at the end of the course, some are handed in during the course, but there's no end of year assessment. It's all ongoing. So you will know after the end of your 10 weeks, you've submitted all of your assignment work for that specific course. You'll get your grades back usually within 3 weeks. So you'll know how you're doing as you go along. You won't have a surprise at the end of the year, and you know, with your grades, you'll get a sense of how you're doing and how you're developing throughout the programme.
Okay. Last question. Are lectures, tutorials live, or are they able to undertake them in their own time?
Yeah, so as I said before, we've worked really hard to try and make this as accessible to as many vet nurses around the world really as possible. So because of that, the large majority of what we deliver is what's called asynchronous delivery. So it's not live. The student can sit at home and look at it at any time of the day that suits them best. As I said as well before, we do expect, you know, content is rolled out weekly, and we do expect students to try and keep on top of that weekly delivery, which is why there's this expectation of around 20 hours per week to watch that week's worth of lectures, and to do the reading and to maybe answer any discussion board activities and things. However, you know, we do have students that have to kind of chunk their work, so they might work night shifts and aren't able to do any work. So they'll do 2 weeks worth of work all in one go before their next set of night shifts come on. So there is a bit of flexibility in that respect. And because most of it isn't live, then, you know, you have that luxury to be able to do that. where we do run live sessions, obviously we want as many of the students to attend any live sessions. We don't have many live sessions, but when we do have them, we always want the students to attend, but we appreciate that not everyone can attend. So everything that we run live is always recorded to allow the rest of the students to be able to watch it after the fact.
Samantha. Emma, if I can borrow yourself for a second. How do people get in contact with yourself then as the administrator if they need to ask any questions? What's your process for that, and how quickly do you respond?
So anyone is welcome to contact me on my direct email, and that is on all of the program and course information documents. I try to respond as quickly as possible. If it's something I can answer very quickly, it would hopefully be within 24 hours, obviously not over weekends and stuff, so allow for a British 9 to 5 work schedule. Obviously it might be a question where I need to consult somebody else, so it may take a bit longer. If I feel that's going to be the case, I would generally let a student know that I am looking into it, but I need to find the answer somewhere else. If at the moment you aren't sure what my email is, you can also contact me, and a number of people who I think have gone on to apply have, using the MBLS Vet Nurse email. So that is the program email inbox, and I also monitor that. And again, we really do try and get to emails as quickly as we can, and as thoroughly as we can, because we know nobody wants to be sitting waiting on answers to questions. Sometimes it might be that actually Sam is a better person to answer your question, and I may just forward it there so that you can get, particularly if it's a more professional based question, generally, though if it's about maybe university processes, or if you're having problems with registration, enrollment, generally come to me. But if you're having technical issues during a course, if you post that on the course forum, there will be a chance then for the people who are what we call digital educationalists. They very much set up and run the Moodle pages and make sure they're all working properly, and they will then get back to you and hopefully fix that problem.
One question that's came in through the question and answer. Are live sessions typically delivered at a certain time?
Not typically. So generally we would try and get a group consensus. It's obviously can be a bit difficult when you have people working different shifts within the UK, and then you have different shifts and different time zone factors as well. So often what we'll do is we'll offer out maybe 2 or 3 options, and we'll doodle poll it to see how many people can attend the different sessions, and we'll pick the one that most people can attend. So no, we couldn't say categorically it would always be at 1 o'clock UK time, you know, on a Friday or something like that. We try and work with the cohort that we've got, and every cohort is different. You know, we might end up at times with cohorts that all work fairly similar work patterns, in which case it becomes easier to schedule things in. It's not out with the realms of possibility. You know, for the live session we ran just in the last semester, we did offer out a weekend day that myself and the course leader were happy to run it on a weekend. I'm not saying that's always going to be an option for every course leader, but you know, every course leader is different and will want different things, but we generally will try and work with the group to find a time that suits most people.
That's great. Well, there don't seem to be any other questions that have come in through the Q&A, and I've got nothing else here. So thank you very much everyone for your time, from the panelists and from the attendees. This has been recorded anyway, so anyone that wants a copy of the session, I will be emailing those out to everyone, and anyone that hasn't attended can get a copy of that as well. So thank you very much for your time, Sam, Lizanne and Emma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, bye.
Bye.